The Island Boys, how two viral stars buried their own careers. The Island Boys' career has always been more cringeworthy than credible. And just when it seemed they couldn't possibly hit a new low, they grabbed industrial-sized shovels and said, "Hold my energy drink." What follows isn't just another chapter in their decline, it's the final nail in a coffin they've been building since 2021. By the end of this story, you'll understand why even their own mother probably scrolls past them on TikTok. So let's rewind to the beginning. Because if you're going to watch an empire crumble, you might as well know how fragile it was from the start. The birth of a meme. October 2021. Two Florida twins, Alex and Frankie Venegas, jump into a pool, turn on a camera, and start rapping about being Island Boys. Their performance had all the rhythm and charm of a blender full of marbles. The song was objectively awful, so bad that even Snoop Dogg paused mid-session just to roast them. But the internet works in strange ways. Sometimes being hilariously bad is better than being forgettably average. The clip exploded, 10 million views in a week. Memes flooded every platform, and overnight, the Venegas twins went from nobodies to the most talked-about people online. For a brief moment, they were printing money, boasting about earning $40,000 a day just for existing as living memes. And unbelievably, people were actually paying them. The beginning of the end. Then came the crash. Instead of using that viral fame to grow, learn, or build something sustainable, they treated self-destruction like a competitive sport. The first red flag? Kodak Black, an actual successful rapper, offered to sign them. They declined, insisting they wanted to stay independent and keep all the money. That's like refusing a life jacket because you think you can outswim the ocean. Next came the infamous Logan Paul podcast appearance, a moment that should be taught in business schools as a masterclass in self-sabotage. When co-host George Janko gave them perfectly sensible financial advice about investing their money, the twins completely lost it, shouting, threatening, and storming off like kids denied dessert. The entire internet watched two adults have a meltdown because someone suggested they save. Brothers at war. As if that wasn't enough, the twins soon turned on each other. They began arguing publicly over who was more famous and who created the Island Boys brand, turning their partnership into a reality TV-style feud nobody asked for. It was like watching a two-man band break up before they'd even learned to play instruments. The kiss that ended everything. Then came the moment that officially ended their careers. In August 2023, a video surfaced showing the brothers kissing. Not a quick family peck, but a full-on makeout session. The internet didn't just cringe, it recoiled. Even their most loyal fans couldn't defend it. Brands dropped them overnight, venues canceled shows, and whatever credibility they had evaporated instantly. The spiral downward. You'd think that was rock bottom, but they somehow managed to dig deeper. They launched a joint OnlyFans account and started posting increasingly desperate content just to survive. Their Cameo rates plunged from $135 to $30, and even then, no one was buying. Meanwhile, their personal lives collapsed. Frankie, better known as Kodiak Red, was arrested repeatedly for gun possession, drug charges, and domestic violence allegations. He became a walking legal disaster. Alex wasn't doing any better. He used his newborn baby's health scare as TikTok content instead of focusing on being a father. Then, during a live stream, he revealed that Frankie had destroyed his credit score by skipping car payments for months. Frankie was homeless, addicted, and dragging his brother down with him, from $40K a day to nothing. That $40,000 a day lifestyle vanished overnight. They started hanging around controversial influencer Jack Doherty, reduced to background clowns in someone else's chaos. They even took low-pay boxing matches just to afford food. Their former manager later revealed they owed him $150,000 in unpaid earnings. And the cruel twist? They'd already sold the rights to the Island Boy song. So even if it somehow went viral again, they wouldn't earn a dime. They literally sold their only asset before their careers imploded. 2025, the aftermath. Now, in 2025, the Island Boys are ghosts of the internet. Frankie is homeless and struggling with addiction. Alex is trying to rebuild his credit and his reputation. Their engagement has fallen so low it's practically underground, and the only time people mention them anymore is in memes. The saddest part? It was all preventable. They had every chance to turn that fleeting fame into something real. A record deal, a savings plan, even just a little humility. Instead, they let arrogance and greed burn every bridge they had. They somehow made themselves unemployable in an industry that thrives on controversy. The lesson they never learned. The Island Boys went from being the internet's favorite joke to its biggest warning label. They proved that viral fame without talent, discipline, or common sense is a one-way ticket to oblivion. They had millions of followers, thousands in daily income, and the world's attention, and still managed to lose it all. They didn't just fall off. They turned their entire lives into a public tutorial on how to ruin a career, one bad decision at a time. They wanted to be icons. Instead, they became reminders that 15 minutes of fame can disappear even faster, especially when you waste it on bad tattoos, worse music, and disastrous choices. Peace. Would you like me to make this version voice optimized next? Timed pauses, emphasis cues, and pacing for narration.